and language. I would have liked a touch more on the language bit. Like, you know, the first 2 years was really hard to communicate, because obviously we can't pronounce their words and they can't pronounce ours. Thankfully, our ears are similar enough, though, that we can understand each other. And so, after a while, we eventually learned for them to understand our language and us to understand theirs. Something, you know, someone could say something like that. One of those segments right at the beginning. Throw that in. That'd be nice. Yeah. So then, command module thing. Which apparently you need this fluid. Make it go, and then we've been collecting it out of other things. And they take it and we get it back. There's a bit where Christopher was looking at the experimentation things and like being all sad about it, which made sense for a while until like I think there were actually bullets flying in that same room as him. At a certain point, I was like, okay, I know you have this sad reverie here, but there are actually bullets flying now. I think you would need to move, get cover, and then look at the experimentation thingy, whatever that is going on. If it were me, I would have dropped the whole deal with the weapons. I would have done, you know, Wickus is his character doing his bureaucrat thing. Gets sprayed with the stuff that's meant to make humans and aliens. Starts transforming, and then just sort of gets thrown out of human society naturally by being half alien, and that sort of freaks people out. If you want to up that a little, you could have a government fear that maybe he's contagious. This is a disease that'll spread among all humans. Oh, Frank. If you want to, up the tension on Wickus a bit. You gotta do this weapon thing, because again, the gurney gun would work pretty well. And then he would go to District 9, where the District 9 residents would hate him too, because, like, you were the guy in charge. Remember that? A couple days ago? But certain people, certain aliens, perhaps give him a touch of forgiveness. He's a little touched by that, perhaps because he's quite confused for a while there. It eventually starts to realize that aliens are people, just like anyone else, sort of thing. Little notes. Ebert said in his review that the final act is sort of a standard shoot 'em up thing, and I was like, oh yeah, it kind of was. Shoot this guy, then you're almost dead, and then you get shot, go on without me, and yeah, I guess sort of thing. We get the ship launched, and then we fly away. There wasn't actually a shot of the ship going into space where I saw it. It left like the area, but stayed at a Earth-type elevation. I don't know. Maybe that shot wouldn't have looked good. How do all the aliens feel about this? There were a couple of shots of them looking up. But, like, I think it would be the whole million aliens. This would be like almost a religious moment for them for 20 years. The ship is moving. So them all just like raising their arms, just like, oh frick, the ship. Something like that. They had some shots also of people like celebrating that it was leaving. I think people would also be freaked out at the time though, because if it's moving, you don't know if it's leaving or if it's just like powering up some sort of super weapon. Which, by the way, are there humans on the ship? Researching it? I think there would be. And when the ship moves, is anyone gonna shoot it? That's what I thought. Like, I figured there'd be someone, like, with his finger near a nuclear button somewhere, being like, okay, maybe I should nuke this thing, because it's moving now, and, even in the off position, this thing still hovers. So, frick, it must be really powerful somehow, right? Once they turn it on, like, who knows what it could do? You might be afraid of that. You might be, just a little reference then. Just a reference. Just, Mr. President, should we ready to attack? Well, I don't know. We'll wait and see for a moment. Or if we attack, it might explode and have all sorts of nasty effects. Something. I don't know. I did expect more military to show up near the end there when they've gotten the fluid back and they're going back through in their car and they're getting back to the base thing, and the colonel shows up and his dudes and they're all shooting people. I was kind of looking for like the tanks to come in, just like fighter jets to come in, because we have a fairly good military presence around this area. I figured they're freaking aliens with their freaking ship, which has got to be intimidating to someone, which it is. I expected a mass movement by the aliens, trying an idea of community. There was a bit where the Colonel says rather directly, "I'm going to kill you right now," you know, and then a bunch of random aliens show up and like tear his head off. And, oh, okay, yeah, for saving Lucas. I would kind of like a whole riot though of 1,000,000 of them, you know, and there's like troops trying to come in under some, you know, the president's declared a state of emergency or blah blah blah, and then just, you know, and particularly if that would play into the notion of they're all working together. What if there's like an underground movement sort of thing? You know, what if all the aliens are aware of Christopher's plan to get the ship going again? They don't talk about it, of course, because they don't want the humans to find out. And every time, you know, someone finds a thing with some fluid in it, they pass to a guy, who eventually gets it around to Christopher and do the thing, you know. And then you can play that in with like suspicion, you know. Maybe the humans have some notion that the aliens are working together. They don't know what for. They have the notion there must be something sinister, you know. They're not sure what exactly is going on. So maybe it's nothing, you know. Maybe it's, and then it's just they're working together, but for a good reason. They just want to go home. they just want to leave this planet, man. And this planet is not particularly hospitable. But yeah, then the community thing, and then imagine, you know, well, we got the fluid, or we have whatever vital component here, and then like the signal goes out, and then 1,000,000 freaking aliens all get up and start like, you know, just tossing all the tanks over and crap. That would have been fun. I mean, that just plain old fun to see a bunch of violence happen, but community. But what I'm trying to say is, as Ebert referenced, you need to emote with these aliens, and we have some things too. We have some stuff, but I have more. Do they have like funerals? You know, do they have ceremonies? Do they have religious beliefs? Do they have, you know, all art? You know, is there just some alien like playing a little song or something, which has like been passed down through generations, and all the ways we humans show our depth of emotion. I would have given Lucas so much more time among the aliens to slowly observe these things, to come to learn them, and to learn their fear and their pain, and to face his own guilt. But they never mention the guilt. God. Oh, another random bits. All sorts of little random bits. There's a guy at the end. I think this is the same guy who said near the beginning that the evictions, the legality was a total whitewash. And the guy at the end is saying, no one knows what happened to Wickus. Some of the crazier conspiracy theories say he was picked up by the government. I'm thinking, how is that crazy? He's a fugitive. He's explicitly wanted by the government. It would make tremendous sense if the government picked him up. What are you talking about? And that same guy, a couple seconds later, says, you know, the so-called free press says the aliens are going to come back and declare war on us. You know, he references the so-called free press, then he's saying, you know, there's some deception going on here, right? He's saying they call it a free press and really it's not, and clearly that's an implication that this is a bad thing, deception and the controlling and the... If someone who's going to use the phrase so-called free press is not going to have tremendous objection to the notion that the government has picked up Wickus. Like, sure, you know, the government does evil things like having a so-called free press, and then the government could do evil things like picking up Wickus and throwing him back. He's a fugitive. He's explicitly a fugitive. Like, what's going on? And then apparently he gets away. Because the deal with his wife getting a thing, and then they show him. I wasn't sure if it was him the first time I saw it, and then Wikipedia tells me that his right eye was still human. I'm like, oh, okay, it must be him. How did he get away? Like, yeah, they killed the colonel and crap, but like, what happened to the rest of the army that's presumably descending upon this place at some point? I don't know. Did he start transforming like really fast, you know, so he became a full alien before that time? I don't know. But that would have played in well with Community, though. If within the riot, you know, he gets absorbed among large numbers of aliens who now agree to protect him and so forth because he's helped them or something.